Welcome back, friends. This is Luisana. I am back this week with a video I made using these super cute stamps by Trinity Stamps. This set is called Pick of the Patch, and it is a slimline set that comes with a whole pumpkin patch stamp that will fit your slimline cards, and also these individual stamps here at the bottom, which is what I'm going to be playing with. I chose to use a copic proof ink to stamp my images, and the ink that I chose was Blackout ink by Ink on 3, and I really enjoy this ink. I highly recommend it. I am starting by doing a layer of Y23 all over my pumpkins, and you notice that the first pumpkin is already colored because I did it at first and the video turned out blurry for that one, so I chose to just delete it. So now I am using R39 to apply all of the shadows all over each of the pumpkins. I am paying close attention to where I want all of those areas to look darker, and just using flicking motion, I am trying to apply those lines that will later become those shadows. Alright, so now I'm doing the same thing with the second pumpkin. Words are hard, you guys. And yeah, just taking my time. And this color is a color that I only apply during the first layer. You guys know I am a 2-layer person, but R39 is red and the pumpkins are orange, so R39 is only going to be applied once as an underpainting. Alright, now I am coloring with YR09. All of the colors moving forward are going to be in the orange yellowish family, and what I'm doing is I am going on top of that R39 that I applied before, and I am extending all of those colors a little bit further out, again using flicking motion on both pumpkins. Next color is YR14, and you notice that with each color that I bring into my combo, my pumpkin, each color is lighter and it starts filling in more and more of the surface of the pumpkin. So again, following the shape of each section, I am coloring on top of all of those previous tones, and now I am finishing it off with Y23, which is my lightest tone, the one that I applied at the very beginning. And now for the second layer, I am using YR09 once again. Remember, we skipped R39, and I am applying that color in the exact same spots that I did the first time around, just flicking my way through both pumpkins. Now I am doing YR14 and just repeating. It's very repetitive, just going on top of all of those previous colors and filling in more and more of each pumpkin with that. I noticed that I had a little bit of a boo-boo here. I color outside the lines all the time. I can't help it. So I use my colorless blender to try to push that color back in. And lastly, Y23, which is my lightest tone, I am going super slow, and it doesn't show that it's slow because I have sped this up, but I am covering every little bit of the pumpkins. Okay, now for the greens, I use Y99 as my darkest tone, and I am trying to assess where I want all of those dark areas to be on the leaves, the stem, the little curly thing that I don't know what it's called. Y97 is my mid-tone, and I'm going on top of those darker tone areas that I applied at first and just extending it a little bit more. And then my lightest is YG93, and that is going to cover everything. The areas that I colored prior to this color and anything that is white. I am being especially careful around the little curly thing so that I don't color outside the line. And now I am repeating every step that I did before and just taking my time, bringing those shadows back, making sure that everything looks a little bit blended nicely, and finishing it off with YG93. And yeah, by the time I am done with this color, all of the copic coloring will be done. Can you tell I'm just trying to fill in like talking space? All right, so I felt like it needed something else after this. I didn't want to leave the pumpkins like they were just floating. I mean, they still look floating, like they're floating when I'm done, but I felt like applying a thin layer, a thin outline of B00, which is a super light blue, kind of made them stand out more in my eyes. At least I think it did. And I feel like it makes that orange and the green of the pumpkins just look more vibrant. So I am happy that I did that, and I'm taking my time because I don't want to touch any of the other colors that I applied prior, because it will bleed all over my paper if I was to do that. I am definitely being careful not to touch anything besides the white. And now I am trying to figure out what sentiment I am going to put on. Ooh, Hey Pumpkin, that one looks nice, and I like that right there. I am using Altenew Crisp inks in jet black for the sentiment, and I only had to stamp it once in order to be that dark, so I was pretty happy about that. I am trying these layer guides that I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance for $4.99, and yeah, this was the first time I tried them ever, and I really like them, so I use them to make my layers. Basically what you do is you place your main piece, which is the pumpkin, the main layer, on top of whatever you want to be under it, so your mat basically, and then you choose one of those rulers. They're not rulers, but I'm gonna call them rulers forever because they look like rulers. So you choose one of them that has the measurement that you want. I really like the 1/8 of an inch one, so that's the one that I'm using right there, I believe. Well, that one says 1/4, but you'll get to see it anyways. And then once I find it, it has a little like stopping thing on the back of it that will catch on to the white layer, the layer with the pumpkins, so it gives you the exact thickness all around, and I am just going to do that all over. These things are very nice, and I am so happy that I got them, and even happier that I got them on clearance. So yeah, I am doing the same thing all around. Notice how perfect those layers are. All right, so after this, I kind of thought I was going to do that orange layer, but after seeing them together, I didn't like it, so I chose the yellow background matte, and I am going around and doing the same thing. I kind of wish I would have chosen a bigger yellow base, because it was kind of tricky to trim all of the sides. Like the two sides, like right there, and the opposite side of that one was not bad, because those were thick enough that I was able to fit my layer guide on that. But the next one here that you're about to see, it is so thin already, and I was lucky that I had enough for it to be 1/8 of an inch. But lesson learned, next time I will choose a piece of cardstock that's a lot bigger than what I need. Look at those layers, they are so perfect. Now all that is left is to add a card base, you know, the little hug part of your card, and this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I am trimming in half, and then I am scoring it at 4.25, and that gives me my card base. My actual card, the panel, is not the same size as that, so I just marked where I needed to trim it with a pencil right there. And now I am going to go ahead and glue that, and I still need to trim a little bit of the bottom part of it. I attempted to do that with the ruler right there, the layer guide, but I changed my mind. Instead, I decided to glue it first, and then I used the ruler and I aligned it, and now I am going to cut that excess off, and it just works beautifully. Just look at that. It is two layers. Yeah, 2 layers. So it took me a few passes with my X-Acto knife, but I did it, and that is the final result. I am very happy with it. I will have a blog post for this over on the Trinity Stamps blog if you guys want to check out more details about this card. But until the next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.